hello, welcome to the very first video for the Forest Sampler non-traditional stitch along. I have been eagerly anticipating the start of this stitch along, and I hope that you have been too, since I kind of teased it in the market release video for the new designs that I put out at Nashville Needlework Market back in March. This has been a long time coming, and I've been trying to get my ducks in a row, and here we are. In this video, I am going to be giving you all of the details and information you need to decide if you would like to join the Forest Sampler Stitch Along. Now, this Stitch Along is hosted in the Hello from Liz Matthews membership, Hello Insiders space. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking, I'm not a member, why am I seeing this? Or if you're a Pattern Stasher member, but not a Hello Insider member, and you're wondering the same thing, it's because I wanted to give you all of the information. I want to be very clear and concise about what the stitch along is going to be and look like, and I wanted you to have the information to decide if you'd like to join. If so, I will link all of the information, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description box on how to join. Be sure to join Hello Insider or Hello Insider and Pattern Stasher membership. And that is where I will be posting updates, doing videos. We'll be progressing through that Hello Insider membership. I hope you consider joining. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's just get into what this stitch along is going to look like. In this video, there are three sections. There is kind of a what is this? What am I talking about? What is this non-traditional SAL going to be? I'm going to share a timeline with you because I think it's important to know the pace that I will be working at, not that you need to work at it, but I have dates for you and then also a supply list. So you will be able to start gathering and collecting all the things you need if you'd like to join this stitch along. Yay, I am so excited. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what this non-traditional stitch along is. As I mentioned before, I put out the Forest Sampler at National Needlework Market this year. It is this beauty. It's a doozy. I did not stitch this myself. Sweet Chris Kennedy stitched it for me, and it is gorgeous. But as soon as I got it back, I was like, oh, there is so much to this piece that I want to explore. It's just gorgeous. It is jam-packed, full of gorgeous motifs, little scenes, and I instantly knew I wanted to do more with it. But I'm a last minute person, so I didn't get this back long before market because I didn't send it off and get it ready for Chris long before market. So like I said, I'm one who likes to take little excerpts and make pin cushions. If you know my designs, you know that about me. So it was the perfect opportunity to do a stitch along together in the membership. Now, traditionally, stitch alongs are kind of revealed piece by piece. You wouldn't be looking at the finished piece when you start a stitch along. So that is why this is considered a non-traditional. It's because this piece has already been finished, and maybe like me, you look at this and think, whoa, that is big. That's an undertaking. And you'd like to kind of work in a smaller way. So this non-traditional stitch along is perfect for you. So I will get into what I'm envisioning it looking like in just a second, but I just wanted to remind you that this Forest Sampler is based off of an antique sampler I found, and I brought it to show you again. You would have seen it in my new release video, but here it is. It is one of the most gorgeous samplers I have ever seen. From the second I spotted it, I knew it had to be mine. I knew I wanted to bring it to you. And again, I just look at this and see so much possibility. So let me give you a close-up of this just as a reminder of what we're working with. Now, one thing you might notice is the Hello from Liz Matthews version of the Forest Sampler looks a little bit different than the original. There's an entire section that I omitted. It is a verse that I just took out and then condensed the sampler. Let me hold them up side by side so you can see the two versions. And within the stitch along, at some point, I promise to provide you that verse just to have on hand in case you'd ever like to use it. But here's the original, and here is how it turned out. And I hope that you are in love with it as much as I am. I like just cannot stop staring at that piece. So here is the basis for the non-traditional Hello from Liz Matthews Forest Sampler Stitch Along. Okay, let me show you now, if you don't mind, the mock-up of what I am envisioning for this stitch along. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a piece that I have already done or finished. And as I mentioned, it's not a traditional, like this part is revealed, this part is revealed, this part is revealed stitch along. We are going to be taking the forest sampler and creating something entirely new and entirely different for every person. So your piece will be completely customized to you in every way, or if that seems a little intimidating, you can follow exactly what I am going to be doing. The possibilities are endless, the choice is yours, but we will be creating a new version of the forest sampler. This is a digital mock-up drawing that I did. I will give you a little close-up here. This is what I am envisioning. Each little square that you see here is meant to be a stitched and layered piece of fabric. So you can see this is one of the big trees from the forest sampler, this red fleur-de-lis, this gorgeous border, the cluster of trees. They're all pieces that are within the forest sampler. So we'll be taking literally tiny little excerpts from the big piece and creating something new that is custom to you. So that is what I foresee happening. I will be working through this at the same time as you, so there might be some variations, there might be some deviations from what I see here, but I wanted to structure this less as a course, a pre-planned course, and more of a we're stitching together as friends format. I hope that you like this, and I hope this inspires you and you can kind of see my vision for this piece. Again, this is just one of many options and directions you can go with this stunning sampler. Okay, I've got some notes here and I want to make sure that I cover everything. It's rare that I have notes, as you know. So I just want to make sure that I go through all of the details. You do not need to take notes. I am going to be putting all of the information that I'm giving you in either the description box of the video if you're on YouTube, or in the text box if you are a Hello from Liz Matthews member. No need to take notes or write anything down. I'm putting it down there for you. Let's see. I plan on several bonuses, probably at least one per release or part of this SAL. Wink, wink. So you can look for some fun extras as we move through that I am not sharing. Secrets to be revealed as we get there, but I love giving back and surprising you and doing all that I can for you. So this is just another small way that I can do that. I also plan on sharing the history throughout the stitch along of the original maker, who is Margaret Davies. You guys, she was 12 when she finished that. Isn't that like mind-blowing? It always just, I can't get over it. And she's stitching this beautiful, intricate, detailed, gorgeous piece. So I'm going to do some digging and some research and hope to bring you some information all about sweet Margaret. What a talented little girl. And I also wanted to let you know that if you join the Stitch Along, this is something I kind of forget to mention in the membership a lot. You are welcome to share on social media pictures of your progress, what we're doing. The only thing that I ask you not to share is the chart. So that kind of goes without saying if you watch FlossTube or if you're on social media. No chart sharing, that's proprietary information, but share your progress, share what you're doing. I would love it if you shared, no problem. You can use the hashtag HelloForestSal if you like to do that. That way I can find you and see what you're doing, get inspired by you, cheer you on. That is how I can search you. So I think, with the exception of this last thing I'm going to tell you, that is all you need to know about the basics of what this non-traditional stitch along is. it's just non-traditional. We're still stitching together, we're using the same pattern, but we're creating something entirely new. Now at the end, and this is something I'm super excited for, and I hope it's a big perk for you, a big happiness, you're looking forward to it as well. At the end, I hope to plan a Zoom so everybody who decided to participate in the Stitch Along can join and show off their beautiful work, because each finish is going to be unique and different and individual to the maker. I want to see what you guys do. So I thought getting together on Zoom one day would be just the perfect way to celebrate the conclusion of the style and to show off your beautiful work. So look forward to that. Date on that TBD. I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself and thought we would chat as the Stitch Along progresses. Okay, let's talk dates. What do you think? Today, this is the very first video number 1. We're kicking off the SAL. I'm going to give you a supply list in just a second, and your first to-do task, as Laura would say, marching orders, is to just gather the supplies. So I'm going to give you a couple, I'm going to give you a few days to do that, and then I will be back with the first instruction. That sounds so strange. The first thing that we're going to be doing to work through the Stitch Along. So this is posted on April 26th, which also happens to be Joe's birthday. Happy birthday, Joe. And then I am going to be back on Friday, May 5th with your first set of instructions. I need a different way to word that. I don't like saying that. Your first set of instructions on Friday, May 5th. Then 2 weeks later, so you have 2 weeks to get everything stitched and done. Friday, May 19th will be your next video. And then 2 weeks after that, Friday, June 6th, video number 3. And then 2 weeks after that, Friday, June 16th, we will be wrapping up and assembling and finishing our pieces. And that's it. So by June 16th, you will have the last bit of instruction you need. If you choose to work through at my pace, of course, feel free to work at your own pace. These videos will be posted to the membership feed for Hello Insiders, and they will not be removed. So if you get behind, if you find this video a year from now and you're interested in doing the Stitch Along, the videos will be there for you. This is meant to be completely not pressure filled, 100% enjoyable, and however that timeline works out for you to be that, that's what I want you to do. But by June 16th, the last video with the last bit of instruction and information you need on how to assemble your piece will be there for you. And then, as I said, I want to do a wrap-up video, Zoom, get together. I've got some time to work out those details, and I will, but we need to celebrate the conclusion of the very first Hello from Liz Matthews SAL, and we'll figure that out, a date that works best for you. Likely, very likely, it will be a Saturday, because I want everybody to be able to attend and not have any work conflicts. So that's the schedule. Again, it's posted. Don't worry about writing that down. And yay, I hope that that sounds good to you and that it seems manageable. Now, let's wrap up this video with the supply list. It is not very, it's not very long. I think most of these things you will probably have on hand. There are some kind of required supplies, and then there are some optional supplies. First off, you are going to need a copy of the Forest Sampler. This was a market release. Most brick and mortar shops have this, or they have the ability to get it for you. Pick your favorite, stop by, see if it's there and available, or find your favorite ONS and get your hands on a copy of the Forest Sampler. I will be using just this chart. You do not need anything else, but you will be referencing the thread list on the back, because the threads used to stitch the sampler are the same threads you are going to be using to stitch your customized piece. This was stitched with needlepoint silk, but of course you know what I'm gonna say. There is a thoughtful DMC conversion on the back. Choose whatever thread you prefer, and stash those threads for stitching. Or, as you know, I always love when you guys make things your own. You don't like a color, substitute it, no big deal. I will say that I think I am going to make one addition, so this would be a completely optional thing for you. I'm thinking I want to bring in some gold thread, some gold metallic thread. I think just a couple pops of that within this piece would look gorgeous. So I might add that. You can choose to do the same, or if you don't like that, no biggie. Just use the threads that are listed on the back of the chart. That's what you need. Now, in addition to that, as you saw in the photo, these are all layered pieces of fabric. So you're gonna need a collection of fabric. Most likely they can be scraps you have on hand, or if you have a favorite fabric in a larger cut, use that. I recommend having 3 different pieces / colors of fabric for you to create a lot of interest within your collaged stitch along piece. I just grabbed a stack of neutrals that I think work really well together. Some of these aren't even tagged. I couldn't even tell you what colors they are, but that's okay. This is a great scrap busting project. So get a collection. I recommend at least 3 different colors. Make sure they kind of blend together well, and look good as a whole, because these will be layered and stacked together. So you want to make sure they have a nice kind of consistency in tone and they look nice together, or a look that you like together. And I would recommend whatever count you like the most. Maybe you like Aida, maybe you like linen, even weave, anything you like, does not really matter. They can even be a mix of counts. I think that would also add a lot of interest if some pieces were stitched a little smaller, a little larger. Basically, whatever you have on hand is going to work. I am not a fussy crafter. I am not a fussy maker. So whatever is on hand is likely going to be just what you need. Now, you will see that on my image, I have some long pieces as well as some tiny patches. So maybe make sure that you have the option and the ability to stitch longer pieces on the fabric scraps that you gather. Also, however you like to stitch, whether that be in a Q-snap, in hand, that will also kind of change the size fabrics you need for creating your piece, and only you know that. I stitch in hand, so I can have pretty small pieces, but you might need to have a little more margin on your pieces. But just grab a collection, likely you have it, and we will use that for creating your forest sampler stitch along. You will need all of the traditional stitching tools, scissors, needles, like the things that you already have in your stitching box or bag or anything like that. Let's see here. Okay, the last thing that you're gonna need is a frame. And I have collected a few here that I wanted to share with you. I found 2 on Amazon. And in fact, I linked them in my Amazon shop page, and it will be linked in this video or on the post for you. So if you like these, you can click that link, go to my Amazon storefront and pick these up. There is a section on my storefront called Sal Supplies, and that's where these will be. The first thing you're gonna notice is that these are different sizes, and that is because your finished piece could be any size you want. Maybe you are a 56 count stitcher. Your piece is likely going to be smaller, or maybe you just like more condensed pieces. I love a thickly condensed, detailed, finished piece. So maybe a smaller frame is what you are going to need. Maybe you want a little more space and you want it to be a little larger. This is a little larger. And then I also found, whoa, the biggest frame at Michael's. So this is just a 4x6 times 3 photo frame. You can choose whatever frame you like best and whatever size you think you will need based on how what count you like to stitch on, if that makes sense. So this, again, I don't have a link for you. This was just at Michael's. It's a prefab frame. I think it will be a fabulous option. But these are the two that I ordered from Amazon, and I was very impressed. Quite affordable. Now these all have glass. Your glass is coming out. We will not be framing this with glass. By the time we're done creating our collage, it's going to be a little bit bulky. So the glass is going to be omitted. We don't want to squish all your beautiful work tight in a frame. So imagine the glass isn't there. There's no business license in there. Instead, there is a gorgeous made by you piece. But how pretty is this frame? I was super impressed when I unpacked this, and again, it's linked if you would like to get your hands on this. Easy peasy. It's gorgeous. I really like the texture, and if I can make my piece fit, this is the one I am leaning towards for sure. I think it's gorgeous. And then this was another piece that I got on Amazon. It is it's faux wood, but look at that gorgeous detailing in the frame. I love that gold beading, and I think the gold in both of those frames will really work well with the forest sampler, which kind of has golden olivey tones throughout. So I think the frame would be perfect. Again, the glass would be removed, and in this case the matting will also come out. So it's slightly larger, but another option. Choose whichever one suits your look and stitching style best, but those are 3 options for you, and you'll want to get your hands on those you know, before the end of the project. It's not urgent that you order it right away. You certainly can if you want to, but I wanted to have some options for you. Again, they're linked in my Amazon storefront, so you don't have to spend time browsing if you want to just get one on its way to you now. Then I have 3 more optional products for you. One is Aleene's tacky glue for fabric. As I mentioned, I am not a fussy finisher. I'm not great at finishing, but I can get it done. So if you see this and you're like, glue, heck no, not on my cross stitch, then there will be hand stitching options for you. If you are more similar to me and you're like, hey, let's get it done, you might want to pull out your Aleene's tacky glue. I love this glue. I use it so much. Pretty affordable, available at any craft store. You know what? I will also put a link to this in my Amazon storefront if you want to just do all your shopping on Amazon. Easy peasy right there for you. But that is certainly an option if you are a finisher like me. And then I also would like to suggest, this is my button bucket. I would like to suggest getting your hands on some buttons. I think adding buttons at the end will give a really nice depth and just enhance that collagey, one-of-a-kind look. So if you can find any buttons around your house, maybe at an antique store, this is my mother of pearl button collection, and I plan on using those towards the end of the style when we get to assembly. I do want to point out, you probably don't want buttons that have, I should have taken these out, I apologize guys. Do I have any here? Okay, here's one. See how that button has that loop? I would stay away from those. I would go more traditional buttonhole kind of buttons, just because you don't want to add that much height to your piece. But again, that's a really fun opportunity to pick something unique and totally customized to you. Optional, but I'm gonna do it and you might want to as well. And then the last thing I'm gonna recommend is, if you have a printer, preferably color, but black and white will do, that might come in handy for maybe some of those bonuses and extras I mentioned earlier. So that is what you need for the stitch along. I hope this video was really informative and helped you decide if you'd like to join me in the stitch along, or if it's not for you. This is the first of many stitch alongs I plan on doing. I hope that you like the non-traditional format. Let me know what you're thinking. If you are like, no, stay traditional and do the kind of surprise release, format, I can do that too. Maybe we'll do both, but I just thought this would be so fun to work through together. I hope you think the same thing. If you have any questions about what exactly I am showing you here, I am happy to give you more details, but I look forward to stitching this alongside you. Don't forget to check the notes in the description box or under the post, under the video on your membership feed. I look forward to welcoming all Hello Insiders to the Stitch Along. Let's get this party started, and I will be back with your next video very soon. Bye.